With just a month to go before marijuana becomes legal here in Canada, there's word that the world's biggest beverage maker is looking to jump into the cannabis drink business. BNN Bloomberg Television is reporting that Coca-Cola is in talks with Ontario-based Aurora Cannabis to develop drinks infused with CBD. It's a naturally occurring chemical in marijuana plants, often used for medical purposes, but without the high that comes from THC. A Coca-Cola spokesperson says the company is watching the growth of CBD in wellness beverages around the world, but no decisions have been made. So if Coca-Cola does get involved in Canada's legal marijuana industry, it may face some challenges at the border. To help explain why, I'm joined by Chantal Desloges. She's a senior partner with the Desloges Law Group, a firm specializing in immigration law. She joins me today from our downtown studio. Chantal, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
So first of all, who are these people when crossing the Canadian border, maybe running into some conflicts?
Well, it could be anyone who has engaged in use, possession, or production of marijuana in any way, shape, and form. According to U.S. law, for controlled substances, all of those things are illegal according to federal law. Some states have legalized it, but at the border, you're dealing with federal law. So even somebody who potentially is a shareholder in a company which is engaged in production, maybe on the board of directors or working for such a company, it is plausible that if an officer interpreted the regulations broadly enough, they could be excluded from the U.S.
So is that information on your passport information? How would they even know?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because ignorance of the law is no excuse. When you're coming to the U.S. border, you can't plead that you didn't understand the law. You're dealing with a U.S. immigration officer. It's a sovereign country. They have the right to apply the laws the way they want to. So this information is out there on the internet. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol has issued some statements about it, so people are expected to be aware. And if you show up at the border and you don't realize that you're contravening the rules, you're still subject to the penalty.
So what would the penalty be?
Well, it depends on the circumstances, but at minimum, you could be barred entry to the U.S. and sometimes be given a ban for either a period of time or maybe even a lifetime.
Whoa. So do you think that this will actually be enforced on, say, any Canadian driving over the border to go to Buffalo for the day? Or how seriously do you take this threat?
Well, I think it's very serious because according to the law, an officer can interpret those regulations within a certain realm of discretion, either very strictly or very liberally. So when you come to the U.S. border, they have already said that they don't plan to ask everybody if they've ever used marijuana, but they could ask that question if something piques their interests. For example, suppose you have something in your wallet, like a receipt from a marijuana dispensary or a prescription for medical marijuana, because even under U.S. federal law, medical marijuana is also not exempt. So even if you've used it with a prescription in the past, it still causes a problem.
Okay, so just to be clear then, what you're telling us, Chantal, is this is information that is gleaned from the border agent. If they're interviewing the person at the border, that's how they figure all this stuff out. Who you work for, if you use cannabis or sell it, whatever.
Yes, primarily, but it could also be information which is publicly available. For example, on the internet, if you're shown on a board of directors of a cannabis-producing company, or if you're listed on incorporation documents, which can be searched in public registry, they can also search your phone and your computer and anything that you have on you at the border. So if you had any emails in your phone or text messages, pictures, a marijuana license card for medical purposes in your wallet, anything that you have on you.
Do Canadians have any recourse?
They really don't, unless they engage a U.S. immigration attorney to possibly try to appeal or, get the ban waived. But other than that, there's really not a lot that they can do because it's a clear violation of U.S. law.
Chantal Desloges, thanks so much. Chantal is an immigration lawyer. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.